Well met and welcome back to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series. I'm Nathanius, joined by In Control. We're here for our Americas Group A. And it's time to find out who is going to go to the round of 8 first. In Control. Are you excited?
I'm livid. Livid with excitement. We've got the Hearthstone boys commentating over there. We've got excellent StarCraft here. You're here. Kevin's in the club.
It's awesome.
Couldn't be happier.
And you're here, of course, Jeff.
I'm here. I'm always here. They keep me in the basement.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
My whole ladder, my streaming setup is designed to make it look like I lead a normal life, but I'm just actually an animatronic holdover from a Chuck E. Cheese that was shut down in Sacramento, California in the early 90s. So.
Can you still play the jingle on the kids' birthdays?
It's one of the only few things I can do. I can commentate StarCraft, do that, and stream games.
Well, thank God for that. We've got our lobby starting up for our winners match. ZvT Terran versus Zerg. We've got Cuddlebear going up against TLO. This would be a pretty big upset. This would be pretty sick, right? If Cuddlebear comes into Group A and just wins it.
I'm going to say it like it is, okay? Upsets at this stage aren't that big of a deal unless you're talking about the top dogs. I agree with you. It would be an upset.
Okay.
Dario is expected to win. Cuddlebear's showing up in good form, but also Dario's Dario, right? Like this guy... When he tweets, is it from the final stage where he's about to face off against Cyril for all the marbles? No, it's usually about a kale salad that he just tried at a new restaurant in the vegan district of Sacramento.
Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah, he lives in Toronto now.
I'm seeing Sacramento.
It's basically just smaller, cleaner New York. So everything is there. Yes, they have everything.
Dario should win. He is the favorite, to your point. But Cuddlebear looked pretty good in that TVT. I would not be super shocked if he wins here.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see it. I feel like a lot of our audience probably doesn't know this man very well, but here he is, giving it all, plus ultra. In the bottom right, he's our Red Terran. He is Cuddlebear.
Maximilian, though. I will say every one of these players, for the most part, has a way better name than all of us.
Maximilian.
Actually, I like the last name Fabricant, though. Nathan Fabricant's a good name.
Fabricant's pretty uncommon, so gives me a
Kevin Vanderkoy. It's all right. Sounds kind of like, it's like Kevin... And then the Vanderkoy part sounds like something you'd order at a sushi restaurant.
I think it's Dutch for of the people, because Rotterdam is for the people, so it just kind of makes a lot of sense. His opponent in the top left, the blue Zerg. Bevan de Vunch, he is TLO.
Yeah, you say my name that way, it's fine. All my German turned into Hero Marine. I can't actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically TLO, he's not playing under that banner anymore. I don't know.
He gave up on the German people a long time ago.
Yeah.
There was the Masterschaft League. Dario almost never partook.
Do you think Dario regrets that he left Germany without winning a Meisterschaft?
Oh, every German that doesn't win a world championship always regrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were kind of
well, it's like
it's in their blood.
I mean, there's a world where like TLO, right? There's a timeline, assuming infinite parallel universes. There is one where TLO wins BlizzCon this year, but he would not have won a Meisterschaft before renouncing his Germanhood.
You know what's crazy?
I think in that timeline he's still disappointed with himself. That's what I'm trying to say.
I hear you, and I hate to do this, especially on this day where we've had DNS Dream as deep as he did earlier. But there is infinite timelines. There's not a single one where Dario wins BlizzCon. There really isn't. There's like this weird. There is a dimension where the world is populated by Darios, but they actually close out BlizzCon before naming a champion, because of a yoga convention that's coinciding with the same date. And they chose bodily health over video game health because they determined that of course, makes sense to the greater good of Darius. And that was the closest they got. That timeline, because if the BlizzCon kicks off, then yes, a Dario wins that because there's only Darios.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, you laugh, but is that a bad world? Entirely made up of Darios? I think it's
no. I mean, honestly, it might be like too peaceful, too relaxing, right?
Interesting ladder games around, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dario versus Dario. Keeping it interesting. Back at home, we got Cuddlebear gonna mix it up here, the 1-1-1. Probably your typical stuff. He's the one that shouldn't break this up too much, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Even Dario, though, he'll probably play as normal, because he doesn't know who Cuddlebear is.
I think especially for... If he plays enough NA, like, he should hit Cuddlebear. I think Kevin was talking about Cuddlebear plays a lot off... not on his main account, right? Or he plays a lot of Europe ladder, so that would give him a very different sort of look at this. He's going to do the Marauder thing, it looks like. So, like 3 or 4 Marauder drop, maybe really fast stim.
Marauders with Hellbats, actually, right?
Yeah, could be that. There's a few different ways to do it. I think you go Viking and then Medevac while you just build up the Marauder count. Since he hasn't gone for a very quick stim. It leaves me slightly curious as to how he intends to do it. Or I guess maybe he'll just do concussive shell as well. That's also fine. But I think for Dario, yeah, you just want to try to be cool. Because right now, this matchup, the best thing that Terran has against Zerg right now is just that there's like 40 different builds you can do at the start. I mean, we've seen everything in the last 6 months from your standard Hellion drop, Hellbat drop, Hellbat Marauder, which we've seen, which is what's going to happen this game. We've had Battlecruiser rushes, Liberator rushes, Banshee, 4 double Starport Banshee, like everything.
Yeah.
So if you're the Zerg, you just want to play it cool, get your stuff up, try to be aware of what's going on, and really it's just about getting the scout and being ready. Baneling Nest is going to start. Marauders are kind of meant to be one of the anchor points for this build so that you can pull back with the Hellions. But based on the timing of this, it really just comes down to getting to Banelings on the Hellbats.
Hey, there's more drones coming out.
Yeah, he's droning pretty hard. This Baneling Nest is going to come in a little bit late, I fear, as well. Cannot start Banelings yet.
He's making more drones. I mean, the Baneling Nest will finish, but even then it'll be slow Banelings.
What did you see, old man? The Overlord saw nothing. Okay, so he didn't see the armory at any point, so this may flabbergast him a little bit in control. He lands the Viking too. I love it. Every bit of DPS imaginable.
And here we go.
7
Flamey
Banelings.
boys jumping on top here. Queen's getting slowed down by the concussive shells. One trying to waddle off creep. Where are the Banelings? 7 are being morphed, but they're just over here on the left side. All he has to do is space these out. He does just that.
Yeah, perfect split actually from Cuddlebear.
It's not good enough. And now Cuddlebear is on top of the third, killing the Queens over there.
Bring the medevac over, heal the Hellbat. So nice. Okay, the Spore Crawler getting the medevac there is really nice, but at this point, don't know that it matters too much. This third has been ransacked and ravaged. The drones are able to kind of run away a little bit, and he's going to flood out more units. He's going to try to get out more Banelings. I don't think, yeah, with just 2 Banelings, that's not going to be enough. He's also able to focus fire down the eggs, so that's nothing doing. Worker count, though, Cuddlebear does not actually have anything behind this. He hasn't been building SCVs either, or a third command center, so it's 26 SCVs to 42 drones.
Yeah, it's
that's actually really
how
weird.
All in he made.
Yeah,
this. He could have been
is
making SCVs the whole time.
He should have been making SCVs the whole time. That's probably the only way that he really loses this, is just that TLO somehow holds and is like, oh wow, I didn't realize I have 5 times your economy, but
I think the Liberator spills it over. If a medevac makes its way over,
he's got the ramp cut off, so
it's going to be vaporizing stuff as it comes down there.
he needed the Banelings to hit the Hellbats, and that never happened. So that's really the story of this game.
Oh,
and he could kill the Baneling Nest. I would get that Queen.
He's trying. Maraud's not the best.
Yeah, he could have moved some more of the other units over there. Losing the Liberator hurts.
But there's still so much.
And another one comes in. I actually really like killing the Baneling Nest too, because then you just rally Hellions across forever with these Hellbat memes, and it just doesn't stop. And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, Jeff.
Wow. Okay, so that corner was, it was like the drones had a good idea, but then they were like, we're circling 2 Hellbats in a corner here, and then 9 died immediately.
The official WCS barbecue.
He's still up in workers, though, is the thing, even with that. And Cuddlebear only just now started making some SCVs behind this. He's adding a command center. So I think the wind has been taken out. And damage-wise, they're pretty even. So it's kind of, I mean, how do you call it?
And he's going to get the Spire now. Stim is almost halfway done. It's really weird. Yeah. He should have been leagues ahead right now. Like, I think if he was building SCVs from the onset of that attack, he had plenty of minerals the whole time, by the way. He'd probably be, like, towards, like, 50 plus at the moment. Like, he didn't get counterattacked. He didn't get backstabbed. And he didn't have, like, engineering bays or anything going. So this whole game has just been, yeah, this just seems like a classic case of I'm going to do a very micro-intensive build and then focus too much on that, basically. So he tabbed to send his production going, but this is a nice move here. Wow, Dario a little slow to the reaction there as he loses 4 drones and a Queen. Oh, target fire. Almost gets it going. Oh, my God. That would have been a sick city. And nope, you don't get away.
Well, that Queens are one shot, though.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Pretty good usage of that Liberator. I think it kind of hurts. Like if he had been able to get into the main base, seeing the lair would have been nice. I guess he probably would have expected at this point in the game. He's already scouted it, actually, but no eyes on the Spire.
Which is okay, because that Spire finishes and there's no money at all for Dario, so it's not like all of a sudden 9 mutas show up across the map.
Yeah.
there will be mutas or corruptors or something along those lines, but it won't be for a while, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't have the gas on the natural, and I think he's just not taking. He's taking the gas in the third base, but yeah, he wants to get his upgrades. So yeah, the mutas are even further delayed because you bring up an excellent point, Jeff, because he's building lings. He got a few banelings, but he starts even flyer attack. He gets muta attack, 1/1 for the lings, and baneling speed. Not that any of these are bad, but to your point, the Spire, it has no place yet. So he starts a muta.
Yeah, and it'll be like that for a while. Third base is spotted by this Overseer, as well as the additional barracks. So if you're worried about mech play coming up, it's not looking to be the case. But this is very safe. There is no minerals pulled out from the back over there by that third, so Cuddlebear is very comfortably mining on 3 bases, and is actually enjoying a worker lead right now, which is crazy given what we were saying is that he was down to 26 SCVs just under his own volition, and now he's over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was in a good spot. Also, he got a really fast 4th command center as well with this, relatively speaking, which I do really like because this whole game is kind of slowed down. Right, we're hitting the 10-minute mark, and this is, the game honestly looks like it's at a much earlier stage than this. When we typically expect 10 minutes is when like the 2-2 starts to come in. People are making big pushes.
So he scans. He doesn't see a 4th base for the Zur, and he sees one being morphed. This 4th of Cuddlebear, this is part of the thing that makes playing very good North American players in particular frustrating, because if this is established and goes off, it's incredible. It's a nail in the coffin, right? But it's also, in my opinion, needlessly aggressive. He's ahead, he's fine, he's pushing out and taking a 4th behind, but it's kind of looking like, well, as long as he can kind of clean this up, which is going to be a little bit annoying. He is canceling that 4th of there. I guess my point is, it's just like,
oh my god,
that seems so
oh, those lings are stacked on the SCVs. Okay. Oh my goodness, I thought we were just going to see a tank kill 30 SCVs in 2 shots.
Those are the banelings right there. Oh boy. Never mind, he just kind of pushes and wins right here.
Yeah, he's got 3 tanks behind this, so he's got to bring everything back. Banelings, not really target firing. Oh, he repositioned one of the tanks. That didn't help either.
Now he's going to win the fight. The mutas die.
I don't know that those tanks actually did really anything in that fight, but he still manages to clean up the mutalisks, but there's more, so.
So this will get, again, washed up, but I think it's such a good attack for Cuddlebear. He does not kill the 3rd hatch, but he dislodges the mining. He stops the 4th, and behind all this, Cuddlebear was taking his own 4th.
Yeah, Cuddlebear got hit a little bit, but the planetary finishes, and that's really the most important thing. Like, Planetary Fortress, of course, is that's your rock. So the Mutalist, there's not really crazy numbers of mutas, so he's not in a super threatening position that way. He can, of course, build more, but that's going to take time. So once he gets a turret or 2 on this PF, it's going to be really hard to break because neither of these players are rich. And in like a long game where the Zerg has a lot of money and they're taking tons of gases, etc., you can just say, hey, all right, I'm going to throw a bunch of banelings and just right-click on that planetary and blow it up. But
we're not there.
That's not an option right now. So to your point, the economy setup is amazing for Cuddlebear. And I love this. He's getting drilling claws. And I feel like we don't see enough Terran players do this. But the even if you build a lot of Widow Mines and you don't care that you lose them to banelings, the way that the AI kind of like borks out when the Widow Mine reveals itself as it shoots kind of affects the effectiveness of the AoE because units kind of naturally spread out to surround it. So I really like seeing drilling claws. I feel like we don't get enough of it out of our Terrans versus Zergs these days. I feel like Zergs are still really good at punishing siege tank based play, but we've got the turret at the 4th, so these Marines are just kind of stimming all over trying to catch mutas, but nothing doing there.
Muta's going to try to find something, but every time they show up, there's at least a missile turret and Marines coming out. And like Nate said earlier, this muta count, I think it's at 8 or 9 right now, which is just nothing. And behind this, Dario is adding more. Yeah. But this is the bad spot when you're behind in this case for Dario, so it's either been upgrades or army. It cannot be both because of how badly his economy has just been stifled all game long. So yes, there's +2 carapace, but even that's late. It'll be 2/2 Marines in any significant fashion, and the army's not super mega impressive, right? If it was like 30 mutas and there's not a lot of Thors, the counterattack potential is really strong, and that's cool. But I feel like Dario already revealed that he wants to counterattack, so I'd be very surprised if Cuddlebear leaves.
Yeah, he's getting to 20 mutas, but there's a Thor being made already.
Yeah.
I like Cuddlebear's not taking any chances, and I really like it. He's got drilling claws for his mines, so he's going to have a little bit of potential staying power if the detection isn't on point for TLO either. And he's getting a fusion core behind this. He already built another starport, so he can go into ranged liberators if he so chooses. or eventually battle cruisers. Heaven
This
forbid.
is good by Dario, picking off some reinforcements and taking that fight. Mutas heal really, really quick, so they do not care if they take a little bit of sidearmed fire over there. And now they're in the main, and that's where the options get a little bit worse, as the missile turrets do kill a few Mutas. Marines chasing them off.
Yeah, he's found a sweet spot, though. And look at these supply dropped depots. He's capped at 148, and that is about to drop by 16. Yeah, he's, yeah, those depots. Big target painted on him when you use that supply drop call down.
And Dario's doing what he can. More Mutas coming out. Upgrades still starting to kind of click in there. But 3-3 is queued up for our Terran player, and that is just now the Infestation Pit. So again, it's just these like little things that you can see how far behind Dario is, but he's trying, and I love the counterattack. And you were talking about not having the money to pop a planetary. I think he still doesn't actually. His gas is just 250.
Yeah. Like, he's adding the turrets is really nice too. There's a world where he just focuses on the missile turret and lets the Mutas do the work and try to get the SCVs to stop the repair. There you go. I mean, that's another way you can do it, and that was very beautifully done. Turrets not being finished before that contributes.
I don't like that army for the full base trade though, right? Like it pops the planetary, that's great, but there's not a huge stream of banelings. And again, I'm you know, he doesn't have the money for it. I'm not saying he made a bad choice or something like that.
Oh, he's gonna get stuck on 3 bases. Okay. Marines are coming over now, but the Widowmine actually denies the Baneling from going in to stop those SCVs from repairing. But still, this deal is getting worse all the time for Cuddlebear in control.
You think so?
I'm a little worried.
Okay.
I think the Mutas have done a fantastic job at caging him in.
Yeah.
He's got a huge army, but this is the classic scenario of Terran builds big force, wants to attack, but Zerg counterattacks so hard you have to go home. And what the Zerg player should do is exactly what Dario has done. He's got 41 Banelings in his base saying, you want to just say screw it and A-move me and attack me? You're going to die. I will have so many Mutalisks. And there's really only one tank with this army that I can see. So yeah, there's only one tank and one Widowmine. So there's not like a plethora of splash damage to deal with the mass Baneling. If he tries to attack with Bio, no amount of splitting is going to save you on creep. So Dario's just like, I'm going to attack. Eventually, you're going to have to push into me, or you're going to build 40 missile turrets and 12 Widowmines in a ring around all your bases to keep me from poking you.
Yeah, it's looking like he's going to leave behind a Thor or two, which is the right call. But I agree with you. Dario's put himself in as good a spot as you can expect right now.
Yeah. He's got 94 Lings and 41 Banelings. How are you going to get through all of this with no AoE, no splash? One tank to save the day? Forget about it.
Forget about it.
If he goes off creep, then splitting becomes a factor, but there's still just way too many Banelings.
Too many. And he loses the full Bioforce and has some straggling units out on the map, and all of a sudden Cuddlebear's like, wait a second, what just happened here? So here comes the Widowmines and the Thors. That would have been the backbone needed to tank a lot of that, but he's been kind of split up because of that harass.
That's beautiful. If there was a book, like an official Bible of StarCraft, that's like, this is what you do in this situation. The ideal Ling Bane Muta versus Bio Terran is exactly what we just saw. Your Mutas beat the crap out of the Terran in their base, keep them from pushing, and you just mass Banelings while spreading creep behind it. If the Terran player wants to try and counterattack, you're just going to roll them. And we saw 41 Banelings literally roll into the army.
Literally.
Did a very good job. And now he can get his tech up behind this. He can get his Greater Spire, his 3-3. Now there's not enough bio to actually even try to make that push. So he's just stuck trying to shotgun these Thors over with the Medivacs to get the Mutalisks away.
He does do that, which is nice. Needs to be careful with this Bioforce. It has a lot of Widowmines with it, so it's got that going for it. But if he loses this, that's got to be it. That's
what you need. That's what you really need. Like, you want to take the fight, get the Widowmine spread out. Those ones need to get big shots for you. And honestly, if you get a chance, focus fire down the Overseers so those mines can live to fight another day.
But Dario is all bunched up. You just take a lot of damage. Baneling's trying to get in there. They get some of the SCVs, but they're not really finding a lot of surface area. The Thors over here with the planetary turn the tide, and that counterattack loses.
It's big.
Meanwhile, Cuddlebear on the other side of the map. If there's no Banelings here for Dario, he's making one Broodlord. Okay, he's got a group of Banelings coming, but there's Widowmines.
This is where the mines try to pay for themselves. Most of them have detonated, though, actually, from the flank, too. They hit the Mutalisks as well, but now I think off creep there's enough to deal with this. So Cuddlebear holding that planetary, I think TLO may have overcommitted to that attack.
Yeah, it's looking like it. Just a few Broodlords popping out at this number. That's not really significant.
That's not enough.
They only have +1 air attack, so they're not even that well upgraded.
And he needs the Banes. He needs the Banelings to break through this. And now those Widow Mines are getting their cooldowns back, by the way. So Drilling Claws, very good upgrade.
Yep, more Banelings morphed and coming out. This 4th base is huge, though. At this stage of the game, that's basically all the mining for Dario.
Yeah, he has to hold here. There's no falling back past this because the Terran has the 4th still. So Broodlords show up, though. Now he knows everything there is dead. Widow Mines are going to die here, too. And Cuddlebear kind of runs back. He already had the 2nd starport, by the way. So he's getting his 3rd one now. So it's not like he has no potential here to build anti-air. But I always find this scenario awkward when you're playing Bio, just because the Vikings are a lot. They're pretty fragile. And there's still Mutalisks on the map, which love to run into Vikings. So that's not necessarily where you want to be headed with this.
Yeah. I kind of like them for zoning against the Mutas too, though. Like, obviously they can't win the straight fight, but once you get to like 6 or 7 Vikings, every time the Mutas show up to try and harass, they're losing a Muta or 2, and that's a big deal.
Yeah. My concern is I just don't see how he gets anything that can deal with like a decent number of Broodlords. There's only 4 Broods on the map, by the way, so like this is still a very scrappy game. Anything can happen, but both players need to be very careful with their composition choices from this point forward.
The lack of missile turrets being remade is a huge problem right now. Obviously, I know that that's a corner to be cut, right? It's really not fun.
This is one of those scenarios where your 3-3 is done. If your opponent's building a bunch of mutas, I'm going to say it. Building armor, missile turret range. Helps a ton. It also impacts the planetary fortress as well, so that makes that way more sturdy, way better against Zerglings.
And now Dario is in a masterful...
Oh, okay, that's fun too. I love seeing that.
Sure.
The Widow Mines get some good shots.
A little too late though, my dude. He's up in workers, he's up in army.
No, you're not wrong about that.
Lost in orbital, it's just bad. And Dario has secured out there. He's taking his 5th base. That one's pivotal, I would say. But now the Broodlord count has gotten a little bit higher. He has the Banelings at the base, which I saw Infestors coming out as well. I feel like Infestors are a huge deal here.
Yes, very, very big. A fungal, this army isn't even full health, right? So after everything, he's only got 1 medevac. For 9 Marauders and 27 Marines, that medevac has 10 energy.
Yeah.
And now it has none.
And that means this is impossible. He scans that, sees that there's fungals.
It's impossible for him to break this right now. Like, I don't even know. Like, he lost the command center that he tried to float over, right? So that's it. So now he builds another one very far out in the open, but I guess it's technically the only spot he can really put it since the minerals were never removed from the west side of his 3rd.
Yeah, and he's actually mining out that final base too, because he's been dropping mules on this whole time, so.
Yeah. 2 medevacs come out, and oh my god, he's going to lift up to move. All those bio units, pretty much all of them are still in orange or yellow health, so those medevacs are going to be putting in overtime, and his units just aren't as good as they should be, but would like to see TLO send a drone or 2 over. If he could open up that west side, that would be really sick.
But he's just content with building up the super army for right now.
Yeah. Well, the Broodlords aren't very mobile, so the drop play is, as far as all of the possible options for him, not bad. There's only 7 mutas and 1 corruptor, so it's not like there's an insane amount of mobile anti-air. The Infestors can kind of shut this down too, but they're also slow. So I don't hate it. Cuddlebear's going to try and claw his way back into this, but this is one of those weird things, right? He's got a massive gas bank that he can't really use. There's nothing gas heavy that Terran's going to be trying to squeeze out in this situation. Every unit that you're going to fight with Terran costs more minerals than gas, so undoing this balance is going to be very hard without acquiring a new base. Like, squeezing out Ravens in this scenario wouldn't help. That wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, he's trying.
You're not going to build, you're not going to try and switch into like BCs or something versus someone who's getting air upgrades and has Infestors out. So he tries to get that drop, but yeah. Step 1 is get another base. I'm surprised he doesn't want to open up the minerals for himself, but I guess since he hasn't been able to secure the base yet, he doesn't want to open that counterattack path, which is also fair. He hasn't got any mech upgrades either from the armory. I find that slightly interesting. Like, getting the vehicle armor that we see a lot of players do usually after this type of like Hellbat opening is very nice. Like, the sturdiness is nice. So all his units are just easier to kill now. And now the Carapace upgrade is going to finish for those mutas, so I guess we just wait and see for when TLO wants to attack. He was pushed back enough that he's had a struggle maxing out, so it does make some degree of sense that he's like, well, I want to make sure that I'm maxed before I go for an attack because I don't want to risk throwing. but he's in a very good spot.
I would say so.
Lings are going to immediately counter that base, by the way. Mutas are going to deal with these Vikings for a short while. And now the Broodlords are going to hit the planetary. Oh my god, all these Widow Mines burrowed. Detonate on nothing.
Yeah, kind of a prayerful spot, I suppose. They're hoping to get something big.
Those are YOLO mines. You're hoping all the Broodlords like just fly over that and then you win the game. But that didn't happen, and that won't happen. Fungal growth, it's the Vikings. The Vikings, 3 Vikings do not kill 10 Broodlords. The Corruptors are also available too. This Infestor's just waiting. There we go. Gets another one on that Viking. At this point, you can bleed the energy out. Doesn't really matter anymore. Ghosts try to snipe, but Fungal Growth hits one, canceling. And of course, the Broodling attacks from the ones that are already on the ground are going to prevent and cancel any snipe attempts afterwards. So he's just going to do the Desperation counterattack with this bio. I guess the Broodlords are too slow to run over here and help. How many Lings and Banes does he have? He doesn't really have any Banelings, so I don't know. He'll kill some stuff, but
don't need it.
He can't replace anything he loses from this point on, so.
Yeah, it's just a lack of medevacs too. And the ones that are here get shot down. I think it's time for old Cuddlebear to face the music. Still got another game to go, and this is the winner match. No reason to...
Yep, he's got plenty of opportunity left, but he's not going to win this game with 6 Ghosts.
I don't think so.
Now, if he had 6 perfectly placed nukes and he put all of his drones and Broodlords and Infestors on the same hex,
he'd still lose.
He would still lose.
Because it would be 3 Vikings and 6 Ghosts to then try to go end the game before he makes anything.
Yeah.
But here comes the Vondervange. Very slowly.
Very slowly. Yeah, there's 5 Overseers too, so Invisiboys aren't going to do anything either.
What is Dario?
He's just been moving slow. Okay. Oh, I love it. Let me...
All right.
I will acquire your base, which has no resources, to assert dominance even further.
He's so clever, isn't he? He's creative.
And then he eats a bunch of snipes to the face, actually, because this is the perfect spot for those ghosts. Of course, still not enough, but that's just BM.
Well, just kind of... It's not often you look at the game where one guy's close to max, the other guy's...
Dario is playing with his food, honestly. I hope his dad doesn't see this replay ever, because he would immediately just be like, just finish your meal. Don't rip your carrots and broccoli apart and just like try to make pictures on their plate with them, okay? It's not. Yeah. I didn't work to put this food on the table so that you could mutilate it.
He's checking every base. Being very careful here.
This won't impact the game, but I do want to see that Widow Mine blow up on all those links because it will look awesome.
There you go.
Meh.
Did it?
No,
awesome?
that was not satisfying. That was like seeing Godzilla last week.
Yeah. Or Ma. I went saw Ma.
I haven't seen that.
Don't.
I won't. Thank you.
Dario.
Actually, yeah. Let me know if you want to see anything this weekend. By the way. Yeah.
Something came out. What was it?
Dark Phoenix?
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty mediocre.
I heard it was pretty mediocre.
Oh my god, Dario.
Well, with you, I'd watch any bad movie, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Are ghosts that good, Cuddlebear? Are they, though? When he had 4,000 gas, I'm like, well, if this was...
Ghosts are good. He's got nothing
else. This was 2014 when Ravens had 2 Seeker missile charges that did 100 damage with 10 range. Then
here we go. Here we go.
Finally, it comes to an end. Does it though?
You know what?
A nuke.
I mostly hold Cuddlebear responsible as well, though. Like, what does he think happens here? He has no army. This is it. It's literally just ghosts.
Yeah, and now they're all going to die. So that nuke he wanted to do. There we go. GG. TLO takes game 1. I think we've said everything that needs to be said about this map.
Yeah.
So let's just prepare our bodies, our minds, and our hearts for game number 2.
Yeah, but it's going to take them a few minutes to set it up.
It's going to take them a few minutes to set it up.
We have to pretend to be professional.
So we can pretend to talk about that game a little bit more. Attack early on really should have given him the game. I think if you watch like a Korean game, when we think about high level play, if you get in there and you deal with the Banelings without losing Hellbats, and you kill all the Queens, and you kill all the Lings, and you get onto the Natural, and you get the Liberator in, the Korean Terran player already has the third CC done. They're at like 45 SCVs minimum, and by the time the Zerg player in TLO scenario in that game, like if he is able to push the Terran off, he's like half the worker count, no upgrades, and the Terran's running away with it. But I think Cuddlebear tunnel visioned a bit on his early attack because he should have been in a much better spot after that push.
Yeah.
Dario wasn't able, he didn't do anything during that. He started the Spire after, like, I think he started the Lair right before the attack hit. But there was nothing happening for him until he recovered. And it was basically because Cuddlebear had 26 SCVs. He did not build workers after that attack started. And he was floating like 600 minerals. So he could have built workers if he tried. Yeah, it just comes down to tunnel visioning, I think. He made the classic, like, you over micro and hurt your own macro thing. Tragic.
It was a cool game. It's a savage all in, and it looked like it was kicking off exactly the way he wanted. Great defense from Dario, and then like you said throughout the broadcast, I thought it was an amazing follow-up from him. Remember, he was making like 1 or 2 meters at a time. That was how badly wounded Dario was. But the severity of how all-in Cuddlebear was, like you broke down, was what kind of ultimately was deceiving, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Cuddlebear's ahead, and I think he was, but not nearly as ahead as he probably should have been.
Yeah.
But Dario still claws this game out with fantastic mutaplay, and I think if he would have made some other choices and done a different tech, I don't know that this game goes that way.
No. Especially with how fast the fourth was. Like, that was his way of recognizing that he messed up. Because I'm sure Cuddlebear realized, like, man, thought I was about to win the game here. Okay, guess I have to go back and start macroing and start their command center, double eBay. But, you know, the call to get the fourth command center as fast as he did was really good. Because I think if in his situation, his thought process is like, well, I've got extra money, my production's not up yet, so I'll just get another CC and just try to get a faster fourth than usual. And that was really good. But the Mutalisks bought Dario several new leases on life to the point where he could get up those 41 Banelings. Because when he wanted to do that first attack and the Mutas started pushing him, he didn't have those Banelings.
Yeah.
Because he spent all his gas getting the Mutas in the first place. But really, really good Mutalisk control from TLO, I think, is the story of that. Past Cuddlebear probably overemphasizing his attention on the other side of the map. But that does give me hope that we've got potential for a Game 3 here, a really close series, because I think this matchup's been looking pretty good so far, regardless.
Yeah, nice little back and forth play there.
Yeah. So let's see what the boys decide to bring out for map number 2. New Repugnancy. Don't know that Cuddlebear is much of a crazy cheeser.
Well, he's a North American player.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, you're right. You got me there. I got nothing.
But to your point, will he do it?
I don't know. That's all I'm looking at for. I'm just like, is he gonna build another barracks? Because after watching you thermal play earlier, I'm kind of feeling that build now.
I feel like that's the kind of thing you got to work on, though, right? You got to come in with that build. You can't just improvise.
Well, according to Masa, you can just come in and improvise anything.
Yeah.
While claiming to not play the game anymore, but
I don't think he does, though.
no. It's just one of those, like, intentionally set expectations low for yourself so that people don't put pressure on you. Which actually makes a lot of sense.
And that could be, by the way, if Dario does continue to win here, Masa versus Cuddlebear, and one of the most consistent curses
Oh, God.
that exists in WCS
The ultimate curse.
is the upset in the first round where you beat the better player, and then in that decider match, the better player comes back for revenge. And guess what they do?
Crushes your skull in.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you know, they say there's like a whole thing with saying things out loud can kind of impact your own thoughts on it, even if it's not the truth, right? So I wonder if Masa ever psychs himself out with that, where like he says he can't do it, but like he starts to believe that himself. I don't know.
He begins to believe. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in the Matrix.
Yeah.
First time he jumps off the building, Nate, what does he do?
Sure. He falls, actually.
Yep.
You always fall first.
And what did he do? He knew Kung Fu.
The story of Cuddlebear and WCS.
Yep.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Get there. A
Except
little bit of scouting with this Reaper. I'm not quite sure what it's hoping to go.
maybe he was looking for like sideswipelings, like a fast pool type Zergling harass. That's not what's happening, so he won't find anything. He will see the third base though, and he cannot do anything about that. So he's going to jump up, try to make use of this cliff, see if he can grab himself a cheeky drone. He's going to opt to go back out this way. Does not want to risk going into the main and having both of those queens pulverize his Reaper. He's going to squeeze out a few more links here, though. I find that a little bit interesting.
Yeah, 8 more.
He's not committed to anything else past this. He's going to start building Hellions, but he'll have his queens up by the time that he has to deal with those.
Pretty normal stuff for a Terran player behind that, right?
Yeah. The starport is like what tells all of the stories of the Terran's intentions. Because you almost never see a build that doesn't go straight to starport past that factory. Like, I think there was like a weird one in WCS Europe Challenger last season where we had like a quick reactor, but then a really fast third CC instead of the starport immediately. But when that starport finishes, we'll know, because it's either going to move on to that tech lab, or we're going to have the Marauders start up again, or goodness knows, maybe a fusion core will drop down. Although I feel like Zergs have gotten very good against this fast battlecruiser.
They've seen it before.
Strategies, yeah. No, I don't even do it anymore, Jeff. These Zergs are way too good against it. Everybody's figured out how to defend against the fast PCs.
I like the way Special did in GSL, though. Like, get up to 3 or 4 of them, push out without using your jump drive, and then when they start to engage, jump back.
Yeah, that's the ideal way to do it if you think that they have anything to deal with it. Like, you kind of have to have like a money scan that tells you 100% your opponent's not going for a fast Spire in order to jump into their base. But then you see weird people do it, like TY, where he proxies it, but then still jumps in, so he has no escape route. And I'm like, isn't that why you proxied it? I don't know. But Banelings are coming out, so he's ready for some Hellbats to transform. They're not going to, but he didn't overcommit. He's only got 5 Banelings. He's going up to like 14 lings, just cranking out drones. Double Evolution Chamber is going to start, so this lends itself towards, oh my god, in control. A standard game of StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void, now available on PC and Macintosh. And he starts 4 Spore Crawlers, so he's just kind of battening down the hatches against anything that could come his way.
Yeah, standard game here, actually. And it's kind of interesting because you could see Dario poised to respond to a severe game 2, where, like, Cuddlebear's like, that last game was a timing attack, maybe I try that again. Maybe that's my answer for TLO. But instead, he doesn't overinvest like you were talking about. So it is just that double Evo, slightly late layer, but not really. Lots of lings coming out. And that still, to me, is a little bit of a contraction. It's a little bit like, I was like, he's not overreacting. And I look at this, I'm like, well,
yeah, I mean,
getting into the overreaction category.
I feel like he wants to start the 4th base, but this many lings, maybe he's thinking, all right, I'll kill the Hellions and then overrun the potential Terran third? I don't know. So it's good to get the Hellions, but does he want to do something else with this? Maybe send a ling to each of the possible third bases and then wait? This one Viking is just chilling.
No 4th yet from Dar, so this is now a categorically late 4th, I would say.
Yeah, and he knows that there's no 4th as well, because the Hellions were just top left, and this Viking is down here on the bottom right. Like, he can see that the creep hasn't spread even to the minerals, so you should feel very comfortable taking your third against the Zergers on 3 bases. Just got to be a little bit careful with your defense. And, oh my god, is he gonna, if he sees this move out, I think the backstab.
Oh my god.
Or just kill this too. Wow, he sieges the tanks instead of trying to save them.
Call that a mistake, my friend. And then this third is not going to be there.
Yeah, that is an oof, ouch, owie, my bones moment. There is a tank in the natural, so you can try to block here. That is not actually a wall, by the way. There's a gap in those depots. I guess he's trying to create a funnel system.
Yeah, that's a Roddy wall.
Tower defense.
Seen it before. It lures you close like a siren, and then as you get closer, you kind of begin to realize it's nefarious plan.
It's too late. It's too late. That is an amazing comparison, Jeffrey.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, the fact that I'm on 3 hours of sleep is just now hitting me.
Well, it's been a short day at least, right? We've
Yeah.
gotten through most of this pretty quickly. You'll have your respite soon enough, I'm sure.
But not before some excellent StarCraft.
Not before some excellent StarCraft. Hive is on the way.
Always a little bit sad
finishing.
when 2-2 is delayed, even a little bit. And the armory is actually late.
It doesn't feel good.
When that syncs up, it's such a good feeling. My goodness. Looks so smooth.
It is one of the best feelings, hands down.
more tanks dying, which is a big deal because 2 already did die. So that tank count never being allowed to get up.
Is that the second factory that he was building in the third?
Might have been. Oof. And the big selling point there is bio is okay, but it gets bullied off creep. With tanks, the same thing can happen, but you trade better and you have more options to siege a spot. Whereas with bio, unless you have some kind of X factor, like a bunch of Widow Mines or, you know, tanks, which in this case you don't have, then you're just kind of running every time anything shows up.
Clears out some creep, but nothing else going on. He's going to get counterattacked again. These Zergling run-by is so annoying. Look at that. He also bird a bunch of lings in that third base, too. He knows. Just Cuddlebear now? He's going to drop the scan? Does he have any
If there were
scans?
banelings, this would be the sickest moment in the game.
Yeah, well, it'll be #1 on SC Reddit in about 20 minutes.
I'd say something like Fallen Control on Twitter, and because that moment would be clipped, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. He's going to get another run-by. The tank gets saved at the final moment. And he's going to say, you know what? Burn a scan. Have fun. These lings just... Oh, what? He unburrowed them and he's more...
He's so...
No! Please! Okay.
He did spot it.
I was going to...
There's a world where he doesn't, though.
There's a world where he doesn't. That's I don't want to live in that world. In control.
Does he know?
Is he going to do it again? Okay, he gets those. There's a ling burrowed on this. Is that burrowed in such a way that the depot can't go up? Oh my god! 3 trillion IQ! That's disgusting. Do we have barfags in the studio?
He actually scanned and there's nothing there. He's like just baffled now. Yeah, he's chasing himself. Dario, where are you?
They're crawling in my skin. What are you talking about? They're everywhere! Somebody's to shot. Somebody's to shot. Somebody's to shot.
He can't say that though.
No, he can't say that. He's got these like random lings and banelings burrowed everywhere.
Sometimes if the game goes long enough, you can see Dario get so clever that he starts falling in on himself, though.
Yeah,
You have to get Dario.
He's like sometimes he can be a bit like the Thinker, right? Where so much of his life force goes into his brain that like his physical form starts to fail him, and he can't even keep up with his own thoughts.
You know, his circulation like leaves his body and stuff.
Exactly.
Just atrophies in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Baneling busting walls out there.
I just love like even the random lings because they have that just giving him a little bit of vision. Like with this one burrowed ling, and by the third, he can just see a bunch of Marines. It's so nice.
He has tremendous vision.
Yeah.
These Zerg players, they see a lot, don't they?
Yes, they do. 2 supply dropped depots, and that ling sees that too. He knows.
Great intel. He's like Morse code tapping it back.
Oh my god. 2 burrowed ships in the night.
And then Dario's like, I'll attack it.
I'll give us a force command center.
How did he know that was
Do 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 do. Oh. Will he make the Oh wow! He actually used them. I'm impressed.
That did get canceled.
I was gonna say there's the fatal Zerg flaw many Zergs run into with their burrowed banelings where they're like, I have to wait for the perfect moment, and then they never use them. Cool. All right. Well, medevac in the northwest. Drop gets pushed back. He's going for that south side base, but the lings and banes are here. Does not pick up. Loses all the Marines. Medevac will go home. Drilling clause is done, so his Widow Mines are good. He has the Ghost Academy. He can get those snipes out to deal with the Ultralisks. Does not have Cloak yet. And our Zerg player is also getting Anabolic Synthesis. So Chitinous is already done, so those Ultralisks are going to be thick and quick.
Oh, wow. Thick and quick. Love the lean counterattacks. Just keeping him close to home. And he's actually getting real damage done as well, which is incredible.
Oh my god, he's killed so many command centers, canceled so many CCs.
Burrows in the wall. So
can't even rebuild it. He has to scan everywhere. Oh my god.
Dario is starting to style a little bit, and it's kind of like, careful.
Look at those ultras.
Careful, mate.
I can't. He wants to rebuild the wall, but he can't.
He can't. He's like, what's going
He's like,
on?
I gotta build missile turrets. There we go.
Oh my god, he's got burrowed stuff.
There were like 12 Zerglings burrowed in my base. That one too. I want
rocks.
Yeah, I want him to get pushed back to his natural just for that moment when he tries to raise the depot and he can't. That's what I'm living for right now.
Dario wants that as well. That's his Reddit moment.
That's what I want to see. The 3 trillion IQ burrowed Zergling eventually paying off. Because he hasn't actually gotten into the natural since he burrowed that lane either.
I think Dario forgot he could attack.
Yeah.
The whole army's just like in the middle of the map.
Did you watch the last game?
But don't worry.
Until I can take the base outside of your main, I will not kill you. He played.
Thinking about it.
It's like playing house rules, you know.
Army's circling around. He's not gonna let him take this fourth, not for free.
This is how we play Uno.
Ooh, the lift up of the Widow Mines.
Right before, yeah, you know, just to make sure he doesn't accidentally. I was gonna say hit too many banelings, but there it is.
Alright, ghost action, some sniperinos.
This is where the ghost thrives. Actually, pretty sick shots off.
But the base died.
But the base died.
And that was the command center that he's built 6 times, I believe.
Yeah.
There was another one.
That's why he built 2.
That one was just a decoy.
It was a
prefab.
It was the decoy command center. I was just waiting for there to just be like a bunch of lings burrowed under there as well, but.
Did you know there was another real-time strategy game where you could build fake buildings?
Fake buildings?
Have a fake base.
Like
I'm not even kidding.
Like it would be cheaper naturally than the real one.
Dirt cheap, and they had no health, so if you shot them, they just kind of folded. But you could literally set up fake buildings.
That actually sounds awesome.
Isn't that kind of cool concept?
Yeah. Imagine like a hallucinated dark shrine. Although of course it's kind of weird because if you scanned it, you would know, right? But
later iterations of that game would have laser dolphins. That's when they kind of fell off.
Laser dolphins.
Yeah.
That's because there's like a whole thing against using sharks with lasers, right? I remember that.
It's
people
just
told me that.
You shouldn't put lasers on dolphins.
I thought that was the whole point of Echo the Dolphin. Great attack here, by the way. He's got everything, and he finally gets the ghosts.
The whole army corralled.
Yeah!
There's something demoralizing about ultras.
That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
Like, look at the supplies. It's not so far out of whack with Cuddlebear, but look at the game. And
you can't raise your depot! There we go. I got it. Sweet satisfaction. Then he walks out and dies at the same time, but still.
But still.
Oh, the Widowmine actually
oh,
the barrel thing, too.
Where are the queens here? Oh, that's an F2, isn't it?
Queens don't get pulled by a select all army.
They don't?
He intentionally moved commanded his queens into the enemy.
Well, what just happened is 25 more minutes of our life as Dario's going to readjust and never attack again.
Yep. Dario's like, well, the casters make fun of me, but I tried to attack, and it was a small choke point with 25 Ultralisks. I could not push through. I'm sorry. I guess we have to add sorries in there, right? No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, to his German.
German up.
Yeah.
He's always on time and he's sorry for it. And this is the winter match, to remind you guys. So Cuddlebear scrapping this out. Understandably. It's, I believe, his 2nd or 3rd WCS appearance, so a great accomplishment. But Dario is getting further and pretty steadily ahead. Army supply about 30 in his favor. But the real story here is how does that translate to the game? So there's no 3-3 upgrades queued up for our Terran player because he just doesn't think he can afford it. His bank is non-existent. That gas bank that Nate was talking about previously, the Terrans really can't spend too much of. It's there. And Dario's got the rest of the map. And what happens then is look at the creep spread. It's everywhere. So, I mean, Cuddlebear, he gets out of the map. He already knows there's burrowed banelings and stuff, so he has to scan for 6 years and then get to a base, maybe? Probably not.
Yep. Flies 2 medevacs right over the infestors.
He does miss a fungal, and I would say Darius is one of the only guys to do that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, he still has the ghost, still has the liberators. As long as the infestors don't get a fungal on the ghost, then he gets a fungal on the ghosts. Oof, ouch, shall we? Yeah. But then all these ghosts do get snipes. And they run in straight into liberators. But there's still too many ultras.
It's just too much. Yeah. Supply is insane. It's not even picking up the ghosts. They're just dead.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Kerrigan, dude. That's how you create Kerrigan.
GG. TLO makes that a Group A in 1st place.
Dominant fashion.
Congratulations, Dario. Good job.
Yeah, he clean swept Rob, and he, in both these games against Cuddlebear, they were good games, and Cuddlebear had his moments, but Dario put it away, and then just, you know, we made our jokes, but to Dario's credit, he made it so that there was no chance he can lose. He's like, no, it looks silly, but I'm not going to lose this.
Yeah, and the proper term to describe that is he was just very patient, maybe a little more patient than other players would normally be, but obviously he wanted to advance out of the group, and his actions led him to that destiny. So, congratulations, Dario. Getting out of Group A, that means Cuddlebear will fall down to our decider. And you were talking about this in control.
Yep.
It's time to replay the first match of Group A. We're going to have Masa against Cuddlebear to decide who gets out and who goes home. You're watching the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series. We'll be right back.